Hello BookTube, it's Paul here, and tonight I thought I would do a tag video for you. I was tagged by JC to do the 52 Nifty Bookish questions tag, which originally came from Strip Clever Lit, who I think are the masters of tag videos. But thank you Jay for tagging me. This looks like a really fun tag, so I'd better get on with it because there's 52 questions in this, so I'll try and make it as quick as possible. So question 1, what book are you reading right now? At the moment I am reading The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. Question 2, what was the last thing that you highlighted? I don't really highlight books, but I did just the other day put something into, I guess this passes for a kind of a commonplace book, and I copied something out of The Moonstone, which I'll just quickly read out to you because it's only a couple of lines. And it's this: we are above reason, we are beyond ridicule. We see with nobody's eyes, we hear with nobody's ears, we feel with nobody's hearts but our own. And to me that was, you know, all about being yourself and being unique and, you know, not taking your lead from anyone else in terms of how you should be. That's one of the things that I try to live by. Anyway, number 3, what do you plan to read next? Well, coincidentally, the book that I'm going to read next is at this moment in time propping up the camera that's recording me, so it's Helen Dunmore and it's The Siege. Question 4, one fiction writer, living or dead, with which I would like to grab a drink. Charles Dickens, I would say for that one. Question number 5, one non-fiction writer, living or dead, with which I would like to grab a drink. I'm going to go with Sir Ronald Fiennes for that one. Number 6, one poet, living or dead, which I would like to grab a drink. There's an awful lot of drinking going on in this tag, I'm noticing, but for that one I would choose Robert Burns. And number 7, one booktuber with which I would like to grab a drink. For that I am going to say Jay Shea, who tagged me, who when I watched this video he said he doesn't drink and neither do I, but I'm convinced I could have an interesting conversation with him, so that would be good. Number 8, Emily Dickinson or Edgar Allan Poe. Emily Dickinson, I would say. Number 9, Hemingway or Fitzgerald. I'm going to go with Fitzgerald because to my surprise I really loved The Great Gatsby. I just thought it was a great book. Number 10, Jane Austen or Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, definitely. Harris or Hitchens. That could be a number of different Harrises, but I haven't read either of their books, so I don't know. Stephen King or Michael Crichton, that's number 12. Stephen King, definitely. Number 13, Bret, Easton, Ellis or Chuck Palahniuk. I'm afraid both names are lost to me. I'm showing my ignorance here, but number 14, Kurt Vonnegut or John Green. Again, I'm afraid I don't know either of them. Number 15, Shakespeare's poems or plays. I'm gonna go for plays, definitely. I like a good story. Number 16, Adrian Fort or Dalton Gentry, well, you know, that's like Sophie's Choice. It's like asking to choose between your kids, and I can't do it. I can't do it. Number 17, Cormac, McCarthy or J.K. Rowling. Probably Cormac, McCarthy. Number 18, Hannibal, Lecter or Voldemort. Hannibal Lecter, I think. T.C. Boyle or George Saunders. I don't know on that one. Number 20, good writing or a good story. Well, I would say definitely a good story. Preferably one that's well written. Number 21. Geez, this is a marathon, isn't it? Number 21, YA or children's lit. I would probably go with children's lit. You know, there's a lot of good stuff in those books. 22, irony or humour. Humour. 23, sci-fi or horror. I would go for horror. I don't know much about sci-fi. I need to get more into that. Number 24, fantasy or non-fiction. I would say definitely non-fiction. 25, rather find a new favourite contemporary writer or a new favourite old-time great. I don't really mind, you know, it's always such a special thing to find a great new writer, new or old, so it doesn't matter where they come from, the present or the past. Sonnet or haiku. Don't know enough about poetry. Sistina or is it Villanelle? No, again, I'm not really a big poetry person, so I can't answer that. Spend the evening at a library or a bookstore. Well, I would go for a library because I'm liable to spend less money, so a library. Number 29, magazine or Wikipedia article. I guess I would go for magazine because, you know, I think I'm wary of spending too much time online, so as much as I love Wikipedia, I'd probably go for magazine. Number 30, dictionary or encyclopedia. Dictionary for sure. I love dictionaries, the real deal. In fact, look at this. There's one right here, the English dictionary. Wouldn't be without it, and I like to have a real copy. You know, I'm not into looking everything up online. As handy as the phone is and the internet, it's good just to have, you know, proper reference books. I enjoy that. Number 31, the writer I would like to write my biography. Well, that I would have to insist on writing it myself. Not that I'm claiming to be a good writer, but I think it's always best that it comes from the horse's mouth directly. You can tell so much by the way things are written sometimes. Number 32, I do not highlight in my books. I don't. I have a lot of respect for books as objects, almost as works of art, and I don't like to spoil them in any way whatsoever. I do not write in my books, no, for the same reason. Although I may write something in pencil, I've never done that, but I wouldn't necessarily be against writing something in pencil. Number 34, my earliest memory of a library. Probably just going into Elgin Library here locally, which was in a big mansion style house, and just being fascinated by being in the place, in the building. Number 35, the last time you went to a library. that would be yesterday, because I work in a library and they do expect me to turn up every day, so that was yesterday. Have you ever stolen or accidentally stolen books from the library? I have to admit, Strip Cover Lit, if you're watching this, I'm slightly offended by that question. No, I've never stolen or accidentally stolen books from the library, no. 37, ballpark, how many books do you own? Well, having worked in the library, I kind of know that the average number of books on a shelf tends to be around 25, so looking at my bookshelves here, that would be 175 books, maybe between 175 and 200, something like that. How many books do you think would make for a reasonable personal library? I guess that depends how much money you have and how much space you have. In an ideal world, I'd like to have a library with a home library with maybe a couple of floors, and but unfortunately I'm not that rich, so I have one bookcase and that's it. Number 39. So there's Sense and Sensibilities and Sea Monsters, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, etc. How do you feel about the phenomenon? Well, I hate to be a killjoy, but I don't like it. You know, I just think it's kind of making money off someone else's work, you know, and you've got to wonder what Jane Austen would have thought of the addition to her work. I don't know, you know, I've heard their books are quite good and fun, which is fine, you know, but I still think it's kind of making money off a big name, I guess. So, number 40, horror trope you would like to see get more love. I really don't know on that one. Something that you think gets underutilised in sci-fi. I'm really not sure. I'm not into sci-fi enough, I think, to answer that question. Number 42, flash fiction. Form of and format of literature, or it's just a short story dummy. I'm not sure what that question means, so I'll move on. Number 43. If you could own one book from all of history, what would it be? Well, I think I would go for a first edition of The Old Curiosity Shop by Charles Dickens. Signed, if possible, that would be nice. That would be the ultimate gem in the collection for me. Audiobooks, the same as reading. For me, no it isn't. You know, there's something very special about just the act of reading. It gives you time to linger. It lets you use your imagination in a very unique way, and I feel an audiobook does some of the imagination part of it for you. But I think what would be quite interesting is to read the book and then listen to the audiobook to get, you know, an additional insight into what you've already read. I think that would be, I've never done that, but I think it would be a very interesting thing to do. The most literary songwriter of your lifetime. Well, I'm a huge music fan, and you know, there's some obvious big names that you could mention there, but I'm going to go for local singer-songwriter here, Rachel Srimani, who I think is an outstanding songwriter, and her songs are very literary, and she gets most of her material from her own dreams. which I find interesting. Songwriter of my lifetime, I mean, that's such a grand statement, you know, but I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say anyone's the best in that way. There's many, many great songwriters, but she's one of the best in my opinion. Maybe not very well known, but she's remarkable talent. Number 46. What writer embarrasses you the most because you haven't read them? I don't really believe in getting embarrassed that way. Not to take the question too seriously, but you know, you can't read everything. So no, there's nothing that I'm embarrassed about as such. There's things that I would like to get to. You know, I could read more Shakespeare, I could read more of the big names. There's Charles Dickens books that I haven't read. There's lots of things that I'd like to get to, but I wouldn't say I'm embarrassed by it. What writer embarrasses you because you've read too much of them? Again, I think I wouldn't be embarrassed by that. You know, if there's an author that you love, then, you know, why be embarrassed about reading as much as you can of it and rereading as much as you can of it? I think that's one of my kind of rules to live by, if you like, is that I'm quite passionate about this, is that when it comes to music, when it comes to film, when it comes to books, and when it comes to art in general, I'm a big believer in disliking what you like, and it's almost, you know, to hell with everyone else in terms of what they think you should like. You know, if you like it, if it works for you, if it presses all the right emotional buttons, then it's good, and that's all you need to know. And it doesn't matter where it comes from, and it doesn't matter who else likes it or doesn't like it. You know, if it works for you, then that's great. And I really admire people that have the courage to stand up and say, you know what, no one else likes this, but I do, and I'm sticking by it. And I really love to see that in people. Next question, number 48, we're getting there, stick with me. What is a biography you're looking forward to reading? Well, some of you might know about my Generations project. I'm reading biographies going back in time. Once I get, you know, past the 1500s, I'll kind of be into uncharted territory, and I'm really looking forward to reading anything, you know, beyond that time. So, next question, number 49. Do you have a dream reading cubby? I really don't know what that means. So we'll skip to number 50. Something was lost in translation there, I think. Number 50. Last literary phenomenon that really got your gears grinding. I really don't know how to answer that question. I'm not just sure precisely what it means. I guess I don't know. I mean, I've got my favourite areas of reading, but no, I'm not sure. Number 51. What was the last piece of literature that changed the way you read? I don't know how to answer that one either. I mean, a name that springs to mind is Virginia Woolf and To the Lighthouse. And that was a very unique book. It had this stream of consciousness sort of style, and it took me a while to tune into it, but I loved it. And I would read more of it. So that was an interesting reading experience that I would like to repeat, but if that answers the question, I'm not very sure. And finally, number 52. What booktuber have you been watching the most recently? I think the last few weeks have been quite tough, and I haven't been able to make it to BookTube very much at all. You know, there's just so much going on for me at the moment. Hopefully that will change pretty soon, but I'd like to watch much more than I do, so I'm afraid the answer to that is no one. But I've been watching some BookTube, but not nearly as much as I would like. So that's it. 52. If you're still with me, well done. You hung in there. Now finally, who do I tag? Well, I'm not sure. I think I would like to tag Graham quickly. I think I would like to tag my friend Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse, and Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading. So I can never quite get that name right, Kelly. I'm sorry if you're watching this. So yeah, I would like to see those three people do this tag, and yeah, I guess that's it. I'm not much of a. I know that Jay said this in his video, but I'm not much of a talker either, and so this video was a lot of talking for me, much more than I'm used to. So I'm going to go and give my voice a rest now, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.